Hi, welcome to the shed. In this episode, we're going to create a Migos type trap beat. So let's look at the recipe. Normally, the tempo is in between 100 and 140 beats per minute. For the drums, the hi-hat usually plays eighth note subdivision with some 32nd note rolls. The kick plays syncopated 16th note rhythms, but it's the same instrument as the bass. It's a pitched 808, and the decay of that instrument sound is kind of like a medium long decay. It's not super short, and it's not super long. Sometimes it's distorted. Now for the bass itself, it's going to follow a nice simple chord progression. Usually it's minor, and it's going to have moderate movement, normally just octave jumps, not a lot of leading tones. So there's a lot going on there, a lot of rhythmic stuff, a lot of complex syncopation and subdivisions. So the snare is what's going to make it all lay back. The snare is going to play on beats 3 of every measure, and that's going to give the feel of half-time groove. So the snare is going to be on 3. Now for the chords, usually it's just one chordal instrument. It's usually either playing a riff or an ostinato. So an ostinato is a repeated pattern, same rhythm every measure, and a riff might have some slight variations in the rhythm. Usually it has more elements of melodic rhythm, so there's some repetition structure, and there might be some non-chord tones in there as well. The secret sauce for our Migos type trap beat are these shout-outs. The shout-outs either occur on beat 1 or beats 4 of every other measure. Sometimes they're responses to things that are said in the lyrics. Sometimes they're just noises. You have your brrr, you got skirt skirt, and you got some other things going on in there, so that's going to be our secret sauce. Let's get to it. I'm going to make my tempo 100, and let's start with a hi-hat. So I'm going to use the purple kit in Soundtrap, and the cool thing about purple kit is if you play your hi-hat quiet, it's just the hi-hat, but if you hold it and you play it loud, you get a roll. It's going to be easier when we go to quantize instead of having to play all of those notes in. So let me record some basic hi-hat parts here. I'm going to keep going. Okay, I actually only like, this happens sometimes, I only like the second phrase, so I'm going to quantize it to the eighth. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to bring this over here. Trim this. That's my higher part. I'm actually going to make 8 measures here because since we're in halftime, since we're feeling that halftime groove, because it's a little bit of a faster tempo, 8 measures are going to actually feel like 4 measures. So let me show you how that works. Let's add in the snare part. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I don't need any more of that. Quantize to the eighth note, even though I only needed the quarter. Bring it over here. Now let's add in our kick. So it is a very simple chord progression. I'm just going to go in between like the 6 chord and maybe the 4 chord in the key of C. So the 6 chord is, let's go down an octave. The 6 chord is A, and the 4 chord is F. So I might play in some octave jumps, but I'm going to have just A and F here. And I don't know what kind of syncopated rhythm I'm going to play, but I know it's going to be syncopated. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to stop it. And quantize to the 16th. Drag that over. Now let's do this ostinato / riff rhythm. And I'm going to bring this back up. So again, I have my A minor chord. And I'm going to put this in second inversion, so I have the 5th on the bottom. And then I'm going to go to the 4 chords. Let's listen. That's what I'm going to do. Had no idea what I was going to do until I did it. Sometimes it's a good way to write. Cool. And let's rewind that. And I'm going to loop this and quantize to eighth note. All right, we're ready for a secret sauce. So I have my microphone on beat one or four of every other measure. There is that kind of shout out thing. Now I don't have any words, no lyrics are going on, so it can't be responsive, so I'm just going to make some noises. And I'm going to do it on beat one, starting on the second measure. I'm going to do it every other measure, so it's going to be on 2, 4, 6, and on the last measure. So let me arm my microphone, make sure that nothing else is ready to go. And, ooh, you hear me right now. Skirt, skirt. Yeah. Should. Had to give myself a little credit here. So let's listen to that sound. Normally, sorry, I just dropped my mic on the ground, and I'll mute it. Normally, there's a lot of reverb on this sort of thing. So I'm gonna bump up some reverb. Maybe I'll put in, I'll make it brighter. Maybe add in a delay. So I'm going to add in this delay here. And let's hear what we got. And I'll kind of bring it down in the mix. Whoa, just move it around. Why don't you? Oh, just made it go away. That's silly. All right, so that's it. There's your Migos type trap beat. Have fun with it. I really like the idea of having more of a complex drum part with the bass and then having that snare on beat 3 to create the halftime groove. Good luck, and we'll see you in the shed.